Welcome to Transforming with Drew, where we talk about all things transgender from F to M to M to Fs and how to change your life for the better. Today, I'm going to do my very best to talk about MTF myths. Now, since I'm not an MTF, I cannot say any of this from personal experience, only from what I know from other people and from a lot of the research that I did. I'm going to go ahead and go over the top 4 myths that we really need to talk about, and like I did in the last podcast, I'll briefly go over some other ones. Now, I think it is the best thing in the world to try to understand our fellow trans people and what they're going through. So I want everybody to understand that these women deserve the best, and they are working hard to be their true selves every single day. Alright, that being said, the very first myth is something that I have to cover because it solely revolves around trans women. Ready? Now I've listened very closely. Trans people do not pose a threat in the bathroom. Let me repeat. Trans people do not pose a threat in the bathroom. They're actually only going to the bathroom to do exactly what you and I would need to do when we go to the bathroom. Use it! In fact, sexual predators are actually the problem. They'll go in there and attack someone regardless of your little bathroom bill. It's entirely dangerous to have a trans woman walk into a men's restroom. In fact, you could be endangering their lives. They could be killed. Do you not understand that? Like I said, this kind of gets me heated. So there's a really neat way that somebody's done this. They have a bunch of trans men who are going around into women's restrooms, right? And of course, there's somebody recording this entire thing happening. And women in there, of course, they get upset. They're like, well, you can't be in here. But then the trans men explain, well, your trans bill says that I have to be here according to what what sex I was born. It causes an eye-opener. You don't want me in the women's restroom. Trust me, I don't look like I belong there. And I wouldn't want a trans woman in the men's restroom either. So if a real male predator wanted to, they could make any excuse to attack any woman. Like, seriously. Just leave our trans women alone. Let them pee in peace. Let them put their makeup on in peace. Let them be fierce in peace. They deserve it. Alright, myth number 2, which was actually really high up there. I didn't anticipate this myth to be so high, but they say that trans women regret the surgery. This has been proven to be grossly miscalculated. Back in the day, they stated about 20% of people regret transitioning and not going into surgery. That was a made-up number, by the way. In fact, the number of detransitioning is actually less than 4%, and that includes the entire trans population, which is me and other trans people. Not to mention that, I'm not detransitioning, by the way, but not to mention that transitioning into the body that they identify with, that they feel into their core, reduces the chance of suicide, increases self-esteem, body image, and overall life satisfaction. Look me in the eye and tell me that you've met a trans person that wants to sit there and just die when they started, or when right after they're done with transition. No, 96% of us, 96% of us are more confident. We're ecstatic. We are proud. We are rocking it. Alright, here's another one that kind of drove me crazy a little bit, but F to M athletes having the edge in sports. No, that's not how it works. It's not how science works. Come on, people. When a trans woman starts taking estrogen, they also have to take hormone blockers, which reduces the testosterone in her system. And the testosterone in cis male is actually what regulates the muscle. It actually regulates the fat storage. It regulates how hard the bone density is. Why do you think trans men, when they start testosterone, they get so fit? So when you're talking about estrogen and taking away the testosterone, then a trans man's body resembles a cis woman's body. And I'm talking bone density, fat changes, the way your muscles build. There are countless of interviews with trans women athletes who said that their body has actually become weaker since transitioning. Come on, people. Alright. Now, the hormones are not worth it is myth number 4. This is hugely false. I could not say how false this is. When I read this one, I was actually completely livid, and I will not lie about that. Trans women go through so much when they start, just as much as trans men, but they have to do with the hormone blockers, the estrogen, and what happens is their body starts to change. They go through puberty just like we do. So HRT, which is also known as hormone replacement therapy, for trans women changes the skin texture, gives them bigger pupils, fat distribution, hair texture, and breast tissue. And that's actually funny, in a funny, good way. Like, you can actually get about up to an A or B cup, depending on your genetics, with transitioning. That's kind of cool to know. And there's often a decrease in sex drive at first, too, because their body is trying to balance everything. So one thing many people don't realize is that estrogen will actually change a trans woman's penis and becomes more feminine, softer, and possibly decrease in size, and even will have shorter erection times. So if you think about it, we do put the trans in transitioning. And there's some other myths I feel like that are worth talking about. Transitioning is not about sexual pleasure, guys. It's about gender dysphoria and living our truth. Transgender people work in many fields, and they're not just artists, contrary to belief, apparently. Transitioning doesn't always mean surgery. Even those who get surgery doesn't mean that they're done and have to stop taking HRT. That's not how it works. This is something we do for life, people. Trans women are not always straight and do not solely date men. I know some trans women that are gay, bisexual, and even asexual. Trans women can detransition easier than trans men regarding hormone therapy, but listen to this. Most people who do detransition don't do it out of regret. Many do it because they run out of income, it's loss of fear, loss of children, yes, that's a thing, and other various reasons. And this may upset some people, but yes, a child as young as 2 can know their gender doesn't align with their sex. Trans women can still have kids. They can get a surrogate and freeze their sperm. It can take about 3 to 6 years for a trans woman to fully transition with HRT, just like it would if you were going through puberty. Again, and I cannot stress this enough, I do not claim to know everything when it comes to trans women. In fact, I would love to know more. I think being educated on all the fellow people in our community literally is a blessing. So if you know any trans women that would love to talk about their experience and their story, please have them contact me at transformingwithdrew, and that's DRU, by the way, .com/contact. So that's TRANSFORMINGWITH, D as in Delta, R as in Romeo, U as in uniform.com/contact. Until next time, live with purpose and live your truth. Hope you have a great day. Thank you for listening to this podcast. Please remember to hit the subscribe button. If you found this information useful, please share it with your friends or family members. Have a wonderful day.